Alright, here we go, here we go, here we go now, here we go now, here we go, here we go, here we go now.
Go Ninja! Blue Ninja!
Yeah!
Blue Ninja!
Hey, what's up guys? Me, the Blue Ninja, and even though I'm wearing red, it's still the Blue Ninja, so don't get it twisted. Alright? Anyways, what's going on? I wanted to talk about, I said it in my last video, or maybe I didn't. It depends if I actually put the video up before this. I don't know if I'm going to. I wanted to talk about teaching English in Japan because, of course, it's a huge topic and everyone has covered a video on it. But there's one thing I haven't really heard in videos is why can people who have no teaching experience just come over and get hired for companies and be teachers? You know, I've spoken to a couple of viewers before who have asked me, you know, should they, and you've probably heard this before, should I get a teaching degree? Should I go to school and study English and all this stuff? And usually the answer is from other YouTubers. Everyone says no, it's not necessary. And even when you read the if you read like contracts or some companies, they will even tell you too that you just need a bachelor's. They don't. It's not specific. It's not a specific bachelor's. It's bachelor's. I'm sorry, this mask is messing up my speaking. It's not a specific bachelor's. You just need a bachelor's. And I get the question usually is why? Why? How is that possible? How can I come with no teaching experience and get hired for a job? Because people usually want to prepare and all this other stuff. But I'm going to explain how how you can do it, or why it's okay in Japan. Really, honestly, every company when you come over, I think it's almost the same. At least with the companies have like at least a high reputation. They will give you some form of training when you come here, right? They will train you for, let's say, my training was about 14. No, it wasn't exactly 2 weeks. I think it was shy of 2 weeks. It was, oh no, it was I'd say it was 10 days. I think it was 10 days. My training was about 10 days. And over the course of the 10 days, we went over, they teach you the lesson structure. And yeah, they teach you lesson structure, how they want you to be, how they want you to act, the image of the company and that stuff. And that's what you really are supposed to remember. You're not required to know grammar. You're not required to know syntax. Yeah, I can't even pronounce the word. You're not required to know any of that. All companies in Japan want is really a foreign face and a natural born English speaker. Or English can be your second language, but for most companies you would have had to have studied at an English school, like an actual elementary school, or for like 10 years or something like that. About that. Don't study at elementary school for 10 years, but you'd have had to take some type of actual education in the English environment for about 10 years or so. One of my friends, she's from France, and she grew up in England. She speaks English and French, and she worked for the same company I did, but she got out about earlier this year, about almost a half a year ago or something like that. So anyways, so they will teach you, all right at the back, they will just teach you their structure, right? And I kind of wanted to show you guys, maybe if I can edit this video, I'll actually go to my job and show you guys the actual lesson structure. You don't need to know anything about, you don't need to know anything about the grammar or about how English works, like in terms of an actual breakdown, like an intellectual breakdown. You need to, for the most part, at least be able to just speak it and insert natural phrases. If you want to be a good teacher, then you will learn and study you learn grammar, tenses, all this other stuff, simple present, simple past. You learn past participles past participles, and you'll learn present progressive and all this other stuff, but you don't need to do it. It's all about just memorizing structure. Working at an English school is about memorizing the structure of the lesson. I can go into any of my lessons. I've been at my school for almost 2 years, and I can go into my school and have a class at 12 o'clock. I can arrive at my school at 11:45, have my meeting, stuff my face with some type of lunch, and my class will start in, say it's like 11:58. I can grab my material and just walk right into my class without even looking at the material beforehand. Now I know I need to look beforehand, like, I give myself 5 minutes, but usually I don't even have to. Well, at least for conversation lessons. Conversation lessons at the type of school that I work for, which I won't say the name of in this video, but you've seen it in the other videos. Actually, I'll just say it, Eon. You don't really need to do that much a lot of super preparing, especially if you've been there for a while. But for grammar lessons, it's even easier because for some programs, some schools, we use iPads, and iPads will have the whole structure of the lesson right on the iPad, and all I have to do half the time is press a button and ask follow-up questions, and that's it. If the students ask a question about the actual grammar, then if I studied, then I will show myself to be a good teacher, show myself to, as someone who actually knows information. But if I didn't, I'm sure I can just BS it, which a lot of teachers do. I've met teachers who don't prepare even for high-level classes, and by high level I mean students who have reached the highest point in the class, in our school, and just have to take the same class over and over again. But they're talking about real world issues, like you're talking about elections, you're talking about gun control, you're talking about immigration. They're having real intellectual discussions in English. Those are the classes you definitely have to prepare for. But for lower level classes, you can kind of get away with it, in all honesty. But there's no need for you to study English like at a college or anything if you're planning to teach to teach English in Japan. There's literally no reason. Probably in other schools across the world too, because really, if you guys look at the posters, the image of the world, the world's image of an American or an English speaker is usually a blonde hair, blue-eyed guy, or blonde hair, white guy, blonde hair, or usually honestly, it's a white person, which is not saying anything negative. That's just the image that that Asian countries have. I'm saying that only because I've gone to places and people automatically say, "Oh, what part of Africa are you from?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm not from Africa." Really? They always throw like Ghana or something, just because I'm black, and that's the image that they have. It's just the way the world is. But if you have the image, really, that's what it is. Companies are selling the image, and if they can say, they can't always say that, sell the image of a Brad Pitt looking American guy, which is the product, which is you, a native speaker, whether or not you look like what the typical Japanese person thinks an English speaker, a native English speaker, looks like. So that's really it. I'll try to see, maybe even if I can tomorrow, I can sneak some footage of and show you guys the actual structure, which is pretty serious, I guess, to do. But I'm leaving my company in like a month, so maybe I can get away with it. But that's really the truth. You don't need to learn. All they're going to teach you their way, their structure. You don't need a TESOL, or TESOL, as some people say, TESOL. You don't need a TEFL or TEFL, whatever it is called. You don't need any of that. You don't even need to, you don't need any of it. That's the idea. So don't stress. If you want to come over here, you can come. The sad thing about being here, in all honesty, about working in an English company, most eikaiwas, is that they're built on having people always want to come. The average lifespan of a teacher is about 2 years at an eikaiwa. Most people usually leave around 2 years, 2-3 years. First year, second year, third year, people are out. If they last past their fourth year, past the third year, I'm amazed. It's kind of actually, it's a bit surprising. Almost feels a little bit sad, because you have to wonder, like, how could you do the eikaiwa life for so long? Because honestly, it's a pretty long day. I told you guys, my day is from 12 to 9 p.m. And to be able to do that for like 10 years, and especially if you don't, you don't get a raise, or we do get raises after a while, but only after the third year tops. But if you don't like move up in the company, then I don't know how people can do it. But it's really, if you guys come over, you will see. It's a great way to get over here if you're just trying to get to Japan. But in all honesty, I believe like it's not a place to stay. It will build your character, and you will learn a lot about. You will learn a decent amount about the Japanese work environment. Every eikaiwa is different, but you will definitely see. You have to be able to learn how Japanese people think to a degree. and how some Japanese companies tend to run. On a softer side because it's not as bad as other companies here, but it's not the best life. It's not a career. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not a career. Anyways, this is the Blue Ninja, and I will catch you guys later. I got some stuff to do tonight, and I gotta bounce. Deuces.
So I'm sneaking right now to fulfill my promise to show you guys how easy it is to teach a lesson really quickly. So if you look right here, we have like our books and stuff online connected to my iPad. And like I told you guys, everything is pretty much laid out for you if you're teaching. So for example, you see here is all the steps, and really all I have to do is press a button and hit a screen. Work on the pronunciation, hit next again, hit next button, and blah blah blah, same thing. And that's really it. Everything goes straight. There is literally every 9 steps and all this other stuff, which I'm not going to show too much, and it continues to all that good stuff. And read all the way to the end. Every lesson is done just like that. And I have almost no preparation. I can go into this class, nothing. Same thing we do listening, all the stuff, and listen, blah 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 blah, and and then also we do there's reading and that stuff. But really, it's super easy to follow. So like I told you guys, it's easy to be an English teacher. This is kind of how simple it is. You just at least for my school, all I have to do is kind of know the grammar. But there is a level of teaching, but this is kind of a quick view. I can't really go too far in because I'm afraid someone's going to see me. But this is kind of how it works being a teacher in Japan. Very, very simple.